CEO Ronald from Creative Difference. We're going to talk to you today about Incognito Pearl versus Incognito Solid, and kind of when you can use both of these bowling balls. So let's go ahead and get started with that. We're actually going to bowl on lane 1, which has our house pattern on it. That house pattern is affectionately known as High Street. There's a lot of volume on that pattern, but we're going to be able to see kind of when you can use both these balls. A lot of times people go, well, when can I use the Solid? When should I use the Pearl? If I'm bowling on a typical house environment, we're going to do that. We're going to start with the Incognito Solid. Strong piece from Radical. And we'll switch and throw the Incognito Pearl in a similar location. Typically what you'll do, and here's the big difference, right? One of the big differences between these two balls is the surface, right? So the Incognito Pearl is at 5,000 grit, whereas the Incognito Solid is at 2,000 grit. Now, what's interesting about those two shots, obviously the reaction was pretty different. But what's more interesting than that was they were thrown pretty much the same, and the reaction obviously was different, what you'd expect. So we're gonna do it in the dark now. Go ahead and throw the Incognito Solid for me. We saw what the Pearl did. The Pearl 2-pinned right there, so we'll throw the Incognito Solid, get a similar shot, and we'll be able to see the reaction difference. Wider right. So that was a wider right shot. So we'll throw it again. And we'll be able to see exactly the difference between these two bowling balls. I think what's going to happen though is just because of the surface difference between these two bowling balls and because we're bowling on a house shot, we are going to be able to see some pretty significant difference between the two. So we're going to throw the Incognito Solid again. Strong piece, 10 back. Wrap 10 pin. Good shot though. Good shot. So we'll throw it again. And people do ask, hey man, should I get both bowling balls? Should I only get one bowling ball? It depends on what you're trying to do. I think both bowling balls kind of have their place. Obviously, there's a big surface change, and that's creating a lot of the difference you're seeing in the performance. But nonetheless, both these bowling balls can be in your arsenal and give you a great performance, especially when you're starting to face the transition. So that's Incognito Solid. The shot wasn't even that far different than the last shot. It just happened to be able to be strong enough to get all the 10 pins out, which showing you kind of the difference between a wrap 10 and a flush strike. So now we're with the Incognito Pearl, and we're actually going to move. We're going to make an adjustment. It's probably, what would you say, Dustin?
3 and 2.
3 and 2, I think that sounds about right. So we're going to make a 3 and 2 move because that should allow us to get the Incognito Pearl to be high flush. Now, this ball is angular, so this ball's going to get down the lane and make a pretty aggressive move down lane. There we go. Just like that. So that's the difference. So you can see the difference between those two bowling balls, and that's why you actually could use both pretty easily to be able to get performance that's useful. Now we'll switch lanes. We'll go on to lane 2. Lane 2 is actually a higher friction surface, just kind of show you the difference between the two bowling balls there as well. And the point here is that if you've got an Incognito already and you like that ball, you can get you the Pearl and drill the exact same. Our balls are actually drilled the exact same. Our balls are drilled 60 by 4 3/4 by 30. Both the bowling balls are drilled the exact same way. So the only difference here is really just the inherent cover stock and finish, right? So there's the Incognito Solid, and now we'll do the Incognito Pro. You can kind of see comparatively we're in some more oil on that shot than we were over here because this is a higher friction surface. So higher friction surface, we're going to be in a little more oil. Lower friction surface, we're going to be a little further to the right. Both those balls struck. So now with the Incognito Pearl, you'll have to square up that 3 and 2 again because the balls are, that different. So we'll 3 and 2 on the higher friction surface. And we'll go 10 back again. So now you've got a little bit more information about the difference between Incognito and Incognito Pearl. You can get both of these bowling balls at bowlingforless.com. You can also check out and get some sanding pads, those TruCut Sanding Pads, which is really great to be able to change the surface of your bowling ball at ctdbowling.com. If you like this video, like what we're doing here, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We like reading all the comments too, so feel free to join our conversation. on YouTube and give us some comments. We'll be happy to respond to them and get you some feedback. So now you got a little information about what makes this ball so great, what makes this ball so great, and maybe you need to have both balls in your arsenal. So on behalf of Dustin Zaner, I am CEO, running it from Create the Difference. Talk to you soon.